Our mission, what we feel like is the central piece of what we do, is to transform the way that care is delivered to seniors in this country. People in this, when they get to this stage of life, they need certain things. They need health care, they need to rehab and get well, they want to go home, but they need a place to be able to do that in. It's important to us to take what is a needed service in society, but to be able to put it into a building and an environment that is far superior to what's been done in the past.
This is more than just a business because it's just personal. I mean, this whole business of senior care is about dealing with residents and dealing with families, and in many situations, friends of families and friends that you've been dealing with for years.
So if we were going to be involved in this business and really do it well, we had to do something that shifted the mentality of why we came to work in the morning. And what we came across was, why don't we break this down, redefine the very essence of what these properties look like and feel like, and then put a product out that is still going to be financially successful, but also be beautiful at the same time. Traditionally, it's been done in properties that have now reaching 38, 40 years old. We wanted to reform that, to shift the paradigm of way care is delivered, so ultimately for that person, they can have an entirely different experience in the way care is delivered to them.
There was a recent AARP study that was done where 90% of all baby boomers that were surveyed said they would absolutely refuse to use the existing senior care products. If you take that information and you marry it up against the fact that it's the single largest demographic shift to ever hit the history of our country, that's a major disconnect. But what we found is that when we did our own baby boomer study, what they said was if we could create hotel-like hospitality type environments in which care is delivered, then they would find that desirable. And that number was 81%. So if you go from 90% negative to 81% positive, that's a huge change, that's a huge paradigm shift.
So what you have is a really unusual mix of an industry that has a lot of history and yet is evolving and growing into something that is quite different from what it's been in the past. What we find ourselves in the position of being is really on the front edge, being a thought leader in the industry of what's coming next.
Someone, when they come into our building, they can see it's fundamentally different. If you're going in a grocery store and you go to select a group of apples and you're trying to decide, do you want Granny Smith, do you want Red Delicious, what we do is we take an orange and we put that orange right in the middle of the apples and say, here's how we differentiate, to help to make the decision clear for the consumer.
You have to make a decision at some point what you want to be. Do you want to be the best or do you want to be the biggest? And the way to do that was to be the best, to be superior in every instance. And we felt like if we could do that well, if we could be superior to start, eventually we would be the biggest. But that is not the end goal in itself. What we want to do is have every project be successful, every project have a huge impact on the local environment and for every person who sits in one of those units.